Good evening. Thank God they stopped. That's the chilling judgment from air safety investigators about the near catastrophe at Sydney Airport last week when two passenger planes almost crashed into each other on the runway.
The sources have told 7 News ongoing problems in the control tower at Mascot are a disaster waiting to happen, and today we tried to get answers from the man in charge.
Guest speaker at the Australian Aviation Summit at Sydney's Star Casino. And the last thing the Air Services Australia boss wants to talk about is a potentially catastrophic near miss.
Sorry, but you're talking about a safety incident we can't talk about. I'm happy to talk about anything else, which is probably you're not respecting it because you just asked a question specifically about it.
What Rob Sharp didn't want to speak to 7 News about was a terrifyingly close call on July 27 at Sydney Airport. Two Qantas planes within metres of colliding when one was cleared to taxi across the runway as another passenger jet was landing.
Thank God that both of those aircraft did stop prior to getting to that, I guess, that sort of intersection point. The potential for something far worse is certainly there.
7 News can reveal tonight the investigation is probing fatigue levels of the air traffic controllers. Staff in the Sydney Control Tower have reported suffering varying levels of exhaustion.
It's actually quite a small portion of our shifts would be deemed to be fatiguing, and we work with the individual staff impacted.
Sydney Airport has recently been plagued with flight delays blamed on air traffic control staffing, even today.
Some delays and disruptions to our operation. Cause of these disruptions is due to air traffic control restrictions.
We've been concerned for quite some time about Air Services Australia's ability to staff their air traffic control towers.
We're 0.1% of delays.
But in a letter obtained by 7 News, the airline lobby group claimed on one day alone there were more than 60 flight cancellations and delays of up to 2 hours, all blamed on traffic control issues, saying this has become an almost weekly disruption. All of this is now part of the Australian Transport Safety Bureau's investigation.
We do know that there has been some significant stresses on the entire ecosystem. Our job is to understand whether any of those stresses played a role in what occurred last Monday.
While the investigation findings won't be available for another 8 weeks, the ATSB says that what happened here last Monday has given the entire aviation industry a wake-up call.
When something like this occurs, it does give you that moment to pause and make sure, is everything that I'm doing today to the very best of my ability?
Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
Well, let's cross live to Emily Francis at Sydney Airport, where hundreds of passengers have been delayed in just the last few hours. Emily, these flight issues once again being blamed on air traffic control.
Yes, Angie, a number of flights both in and out of Sydney have been pushed back this evening, impacting Qantas, Virgin and Rex. Some passengers have even been forced to wait around for around an hour before their flights have eventually been cancelled. 7 News understands all of this is due to ongoing restrictions put in place by Air Services Australia. In just the past 10 days, thousands of passengers have been left stranded during peak periods, impacting airports across the country. Tonight's delays are expected to last well into this evening.
Emily Francis, thank you.